And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Some more breaking news for you today, and it comes out of the Reform Party as a Reform MP has had his whip removed ahead of an investigation. Now, it feels as though over the last couple of months that there isn't a month that goes by that the Reform Party doesn't have some sort of in-party drama. It seems like there's always something coming out of the party, and if I have to hear what Rupert Lowe said a couple of weeks back, he said the Reform Party is falling apart and is imploding from inside. That came from Rupert Lowe and not from me. Now, the situation with Rupert Lowe actually was disastrous. It rubbed me the wrong way personally because I was a big supporter of Rupert Lowe. I liked what he was all about. I liked his questions in Parliament, and I did feel his values and views more aligned with my own. And I was slightly unhappy with the way that he was treated, and then the way that he was again proved to be innocent but was still kicked out of the party regardless. It just left a smear. It didn't make me feel good about the Reform Party. However, as I've always echoed time and time again, I do think Reform at this moment in time are still our best bet in this country. Whilst they might not align with my views and values fully 100%, they are probably the closest and are the best option at this moment in time. However, we do have a bit of breaking news for you this afternoon, and another Reform MP has had the whip removed ahead of an investigation that is soon to be coming up. Now, Lee Anderson, the Chief Whip, has wrote a statement over the last few minutes with regard to this. And we're going to be going through it. And it is with regard to James Murdoch. Of course, this is James Murdoch. Of course, does have a bit of a history. Came into the Reform Party, was always asked questions by the mainstream media with regard to his past and all of these kind of things. However, it was ignored. Of course, people deserve a second chance in life and all of these kind of things. However, this is a statement from today, ladies and gentlemen, that has been published by Reform UK. They said, this is from Lee Anderson. I have today received a call from James McMurdoch, who has advised me as Chief Whip that he has removed the party whip from himself pending the outcome of an investigation into allegations that are likely to be published by a national newspaper. The allegations relate to business property during the pandemic and before he became an MP. At Reform UK, we take these matters very seriously, and James has agreed to cooperate in full with any investigation. We will not be commenting further at this moment. So this is what Lee Anderson has had to say in a statement from Reform. And as you can see, James McMurdoch has had the whip removed. So there you go. I mean, look, I see two different sides to this. Of course, an investigation is ongoing, and again, this is not necessarily the end of James. He just has the whip removed, and whilst the investigation could conclude, James may have the whip reinstated, and then, of course, be still within the party, depending on the outcome of the investigation. However, it does rub me the wrong way a little bit with regard to this, just a little bit, just due to Rupert Lowe. We know that was a witch hunt in general from inside the Reform Party, but could that not have been done for Rupert Lowe? Had the whip removed, which he did, and then an investigation soon followed, but he was just chucked down to the party without no investigation, which was the most sickening thing to have seen. But yeah, it does raise questions. What's going on with the Reform Party? Why does it feel like it's imploding a little bit? Why is there always never a drama-free month from this party? There's always something coming up, especially as we turned into 2025. Although, having said that, the local election results have been very, very positive. And again, a lot of people are swaying towards the Reform Party as well. So, it's interesting, but of course we'll have to see what happens from this investigation. But of course, Reform MP James Murdoch has had the whip removed. Again, apparently he removed it from himself, but regardless, until an investigation continues. But I'm eager to hear your guys' thoughts in the live chat. And let me know what you think with regard to what's happening with Reform and these constant things that keep on coming up. Wun Sen says, that's the dude that battered his ex-wife, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that was, I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I think 16 years ago or something like that, back in the 2000s, he had some sort of situation that went along those lines, and then of course the mainstream media never really forgot about it and were of course questioning him about it constantly. But again, most people of course gave him the benefit of the doubt, but by the looks of things, and again, I always say this because, you know, investigation has to conclude. You can't always hang dry and quarter an innocent man. But we'll have to see what this investigation says. Let me get the statement up there again quickly, just because so we can see what it's for. The allegations relate to business property during the pandemic and before he became an MP. So I don't know what that could be, but yeah, there you go. But there's always something. There's always something coming out of the party. That's all I will say. Zia Yusuf was, you know, stepped down, came back in again. Of course, the stuff of Rupert Lowe. There's just always something coming out. John Johnson says they've only got 4 MPs and more scandals than the Begoyas. Grucho says Keir Starmer, or Keir Starlin, will love this. He'll be celebrating by running around in his gimp suit at night. Everyone loved that story this morning, did they? Jesus. Zia needs to go, always the common denominator. Well, it looks like something happened before he was an MP, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with this investigation. There's no point, I suppose, speculating on it. Of course, it's going to be going on to a national newspaper, supposedly, over the next couple of days, but we'll find out why he's being investigated and what's actually going on with him. But yeah, I suppose a troubled past, a bit of a dodgy dealings, I suppose, before he was an MP again as well, more recently during COVID. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Again, I'm all for giving people second chances and stuff in life, but, you know, if you keep on making mistakes, then you're not really learning from it, are you? But I'm interested to see what happens with reform, actually, with the announcement of Advance UK. That's starting to grow a bit of momentum as well. So we'll see what happens. But I know there's a lot of course, huge reform supporters that subscribe to the channel here. And again, guys, I don't like to rub people the wrong way. I'm not totally convinced 100%. I told you that with regard to my political views, I'm still, you know, the jury's still out. But what I did say is I do think reform are the best option available right now. And they have to give us the best chance, of course, to try and getting our country back. However, I do believe right now, especially after the whole Rupert Lowe fiasco, that the jury is still out for me personally. But, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I don't really think people care too much about that. But, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people share the same views as me as well. But then again, I know a lot of people are diehard Nigel, diehard Lee Anderson and all of these kind of things. So, yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a split. But I think that's what the left wants. But, again, interesting. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below with regard to this upcoming investigation, and do let me know your thoughts on James McMurdoch, of course, having the whip removed, and as an investigation is pending.